It seems like forever that we've been waiting for a new He-Man Masters of the Universe movie to develop, but it appears things may be making legitimate progress. Some time ago, news came out that Kick-Ass 2 director Jeff Wadlow was going to take a crack at writing the script for a new film, and it appears he's finished it. Senior Vice President of Production at Columbia Pictures, Devin Franklin, posted a picture of the cover page of the script on his Twitter account. No director is attached to the project yet, but Wadlow is set to be in the running for the chair. Christian, would you like to see a Jeff Wadlow-written He-Man movie?
Yes, and here's one of these things too. Now, I don't know, I think I've talked about this on the show before too. When I worked at Warner Brothers, Silver Pictures, I was part of the reason that Silver Pictures got the He-Man project. I'm a huge fan of the property. I think that if you do a sci-fi meets fantasy element of He-Man and take it serious, more like the second coming of the TV show. Not the '80s show was great, but there was a second coming on Cartoon Network in 2002 that really takes the fantasy elements, and if they approach it, if Wadlow approaches it in this direction, it could be really cool, and you can get a great franchise with it and go away from the Dolph Lundgren storyline the way they did it, and take the mythology. If Wadlow I didn't love Kick-Ass 2. I didn't, but I've heard him speak before, and he is a fanboy, and he does understand it. If he understands the project the right way and spins it to this vision of what He-Man actually could be, I could be excited for it.
See, I actually did quite enjoy Kick-Ass 2, but it was nowhere near as good as the original Kick-Ass. But I always felt that the second Kick-Ass suffered from a distinctive lack of Big Daddy, in which, you know, Jeff really couldn't do anything about. But I thought it was a finely directed film. He's rumored to be, not just rumored, he's supposed to be writing and potentially directing an X-Force movie for Fox. But who knows where that's going, because when they announced that, they weren't going to do X-Men Apocalypse, and all of a sudden X-Men Days of Future Past is a big hit and everybody loves it, and then they announced Apocalypse. We don't know where X-Force is at. But he also directed this little film, bear with me here, Never Back Down, which is that little, like, almost like an MMA Karate Kid ripoff kind of movie, which I actually thought was kind of okay. It's got Jaimon Hansu in it. You know, I actually thought it was kind of okay. Not a great movie. I'm not telling everybody to run out and watch it. But I'm impressed with his track record so far. I've been waiting for a He-Man movie for frickin' ever. I was not all that excited when it was John Chu that had his name attached to it, because I didn't like what he did with G.I. Joe 2, so I was kind of happy when he stepped away from it. I like this name. I hope he actually ends up directing this thing, so I'm on board for it.
Nobody was a bigger He-Man fan than I was when I was a kid. I loved He-Man. I used to run like He-Man, which is why I wasn't very fast for a long time, because he just has that weird stride. I don't know that I need to see a He-Man movie. Having said that, I just think because of what Christian said earlier is that I don't know that you can take a movie called He-Man and just focus on the mythology of it and not have a sense of humor. So having said that, I think that if Wadlow's doing it, he's the right guy because of what he was able to do with Kick-Ass 2, which, like you, I also really enjoyed. I thought the humor and the action both worked well in there. Okay, go ahead.
No,
this is important.
Wouldn't it be weird if they actually cast a dude who looked like him? Look at He-Man right there. That's like in a real life world, that's like some kind of Joe Weider, like weird, strange, like extra ripped dude. But all of them were like that. So what if they did take it deadly serious, but made this crazy sword and sorcery film that was like a Frazetta painting come to life? I'd want to see that. Just, no, like I'm not going to defend it. It's simply that. All the women are super sexy. There's giant creatures. It's just a giant battle with sorcery and wizards and stuff. I would go see that.
Don't forget that the original Masters of the Universe, the comic book, was not the 1980s cartoon that you remember.
You're totally correct, and that's where, because it was like the USFL for me, where when it ended for me, it just ended. It wasn't like Star Wars or G.I. Joe, where I took it into years, in my adulthood.
You can go. It really is Lord of the Rings meets Star Wars if done correctly, and that
it
alone,
can be.
if done correctly, I say stay away from the sense of humor, because that is what can sink it.
So you don't say? Do you even call it He-Man, or do you call it Masters of the Universe?
Originally, it was going to be Masters of the Universe. When I was at Warner Brothers, that's what they changed it to, and it was going to be the magic elements of it all, and they were going to call it Masters of the Universe, and that was when Justin Marks was writing it.
Is Orko in the movie?
I hope so. I hope so.
But he's deadly serious.
Here's the challenge, though, the big challenge. Just remember, you cannot do a Michael Keaton or even a Christian Bale in this, or Ben Affleck in this thing. Who do you cast as He-Man? Like, I don't know a lot of high level actors that, obviously you don't have to go pure Joe Weider bodybuilder, obviously, but you need a big guy.
Why
they
can't you do
voiced-
performance capture the same way that you did reverse with Chris Evans?
Right.
And
That's
Chris Evans-
expensive.
That's really expensive.
Well,
That's really expensive.
Let's get a
let's make
giant
movie.
bodybuilder and just replace his mouth, because that's what they kind of
That's
did.
what they did with Lou Ferrigno and Hercules
But
and
Dolph Lundgren, they
Schwarzenegger.
replaced Lundgren's voice. Who's
Tom
like,
Brady just ended his contract with the Patriots early to do He-Man.
They did my entire voice and Hercules goes bananas.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.